One morning, very early indeed, when the sun was just beginning to make the forest look as if it had been sprinkled with gold dust, Winnie the Pooh woke up in his little house. He stretched himself, yawned a little yawn and then a big one, and then he remembered something very important. "Today," said Pooh to himself, "is the day when I shall make my bed. Yes, indeed. I have never done it before, but today is the day." He looked around his room. There were books on the floor, a jar of honey on the table, and his bed, well, it looked rather like a small hill with blankets and cushions tumbled all over it. "First things first," said Pooh, and he carefully moved all the books to the bookshelf. Then he picked up the jar and gave it a little shake. Almost empty," he said again. "Perhaps I should visit Christopher Robin later." Next, he turned his attention to the bed. He pulled the blankets straight, which was quite easy because they were so soft and fluffy. Then he began to tuck them in, but every time he tucked one side in, the other side came untucked. "This is harder than it looks," said Pooh, sitting down on the bed for a moment to think. "Perhaps I need some help." Just then, there was a knock at the door. It was Piglet, who had come to see if Pooh was awake. "Good morning, Pooh," said Piglet. "What are you doing?" "I'm making my bed," said Pooh, "but it's rather difficult. Would you like to help?" Piglet was delighted. Together, they worked very hard, and after a few minutes, the bed looked almost perfect. "There," said Pooh, standing back to admire their work. "That wasn't so hard, was it?" "No, it wasn't," said Piglet. "And now we can have a little rest." So they both sat down on the newly made bed, and Pooh reached for his almost empty jar of honey. "Perhaps," said Pooh, "I should make my bed every morning. What do you think, Piglet?" "I think," said Piglet, "that it's a very good idea, but perhaps not every morning. Maybe just sometimes." And Pooh nodded, for he knew that Piglet was right. After all, there were so many other important things to do in the 100-acre wood, like visiting Christopher Robin, or finding new pots of honey, or simply sitting and thinking about things with a friend. And that, dear friends, is how Winnie the Pooh made his bed, with a little help from his friend Piglet and a lot of determination.